Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It's your boy Cray here. Real quick, I'm gonna let you guys know if you hear a little bit of echoing or you hear some train siren or police car, anything of that nature, I want to apologize in advance. I've recently moved and I have not had an opportunity to fill this room or soundproof it or just do something to kind of make my audio quality sound better. So again, I do apologize in advance. I'll do as much as I can to kind of make this sound clear cut and precise. So without further ado, I'm gonna just go ahead and dive right into things because we got a lot to discuss. Apex Legends had their dev stream today, and gosh, there is a multitude of things that will be changing, from character buffs to a couple quality of life changes, and of course that new event that's going to take place tomorrow, March 3rd through I believe the 17th, called System Override. So we'll dive right in and we'll discuss everything. Initially, I'm going to talk about the buffs and the quality of life changes to the game. I'll discuss everything with System Override and the stuff that's a little bit lesser of importance, or that has a little bit less, gosh, what's the term? I'll just talk about the stuff that is less important last, or the stuff that's not going to be here for a while. So anywho, guys, we'll just go ahead and dive right in. The first thing I kind of want to talk about, guys, the Evo Shield. Okay, the Evo Shield is something that will be included in the System Override limited time event. So for my Apex Legends folks that have no idea what this Evo Shield is, let me go ahead and break it down for you. So the way the Evo Shield works, you'll see it, it'll look just like a basic white shield, except it'll have a nice little dope white aura around it. Okay, when you pick it up, you get 25 shield. You might be like, Craig, why would I want that thing? The dope thing about this Evo Shield is based upon how much damage you do to opposing players, your shield upgrades. So for example, you do 100 damage to any opposing player, that shield now upgrades to level 2, which gives you 50 shield. You might be like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. If you do 300 additional damage on top of that, you now double that shield, and that shield now gives you 100 shield. It evolves into level 3, the purple shield. You might be like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. That's dope. That's dope. If you do 500 additional damage on top of that, it upgrades to an heirloom level shield. So you now have 125 shield versus you picking up a gold shield or a regular purple off the ground that only gives you 100 shield. So that's more so of the incentive of the Evo Shield. It's going to be very interesting to see how this thing plays out in this limited time event. And I will let you know that the developers are looking to potentially incorporate the Evo Shield into regular play based off of the feedback that we give during this limited time event. So let's definitely be on our toes and let's definitely give good feedback, whether if it is good or bad, about this Evo Shield moving forward. Now, a couple things to note about this Evo Shield. The damage does not stack. So if you do 500 total damage, it does not give you that heirloom level shield. You have to do 100 damage to level it up, 300 to level it up, and then an additional 500 to level it up to the next level. So the damage does not stack. Also, a cool thing is you can even pick up a maxed out armor. So let's say, for example, you clap a dude that has the heirloom level Evo Shield. You clap him, you loot his box, you can pick it up already at that heirloom level. So you don't have to do nothing. Now you have a shield that's maxed out at 125. So I think that's kind of dope too. You know, it kind of rewards that, hey, you whoop that dude, go ahead and get your prize and slay out on the rest of the lobby. So I think that's pretty dope. I'm very interested to see how the Evo Shield plays in today's Apex Legends ecosystem, and I'm sure you guys are too. Now, speaking of game-changing things, here's another game changer that's going to be occurring here when patch 4.1 drops tomorrow. Our inventory space will be changing. I don't want to use the term dramatically, but we will notice a little bit of a difference. So I will let you know right off the back, the base inventory is increased by 2. You might be like, yo, Cray, hey, you know, I can pick up more of those shield cells and shield bats. Well, a couple things are changing here. Grenade stacks now are only 1. So when you pick up that arc star and you pick up another one, that takes up 2 slots now instead of just 1. Heavy, light, and energy ammo stacks are now dropping from 80 down to 60. Syringe and cells, shield cells, are dropping from stacks of 6 down to stacks of 4. And med kits and batteries are dropping from stacks of 3 down to stacks of 2. Again, you might be like, oh, great, you know, I mean, still we got more space. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things where we got to kind of see how things play out ultimately. I think we're not going to notice that big of a change, and that's all good. You know, it's not a big deal. But, you know, I would be very interested just to see how the community receives this kind of change to the inventory space. Me, it is what it is. I mean, hey, the game is always evolving, and I'm not gonna complain if the developers think it's the right thing to do. All right, cool. Let's see it out. Let's see it through. Okay, guys, now let's talk about some of these character changes, these character buffs or nerfs, if you will. First one, our boy, Bloodhound. He is finally getting another little buff here, and it's a buff to his tactile ability, his scanning ability. So, if you guys have not seen in the trailer for System Override, if nobody caught it, when my man Bloodhound did his little scanning thing, it actually covered a lot more surface area. In fact, the range of his scan has been increased by 3-fold. So now instead of his scan covering 1,000 units, that was their unit of measurement, they called it units, it now covers 3,000 units, which is pretty dope. But the activation time actually increases from 0.4 seconds up to 0.8 seconds. Now, the reason why the developers decided to do that is because they wanted the ability to be used preemptively instead of in the midst of face-to-face combat. So you can't just proc that thing right away and be able to track your enemy and pop around the corner and just get some easy pop shots on him. They wanted you to take a little bit more thought into surveying the playing field or surveying the battlefield or the city or whatever, instead of you just kind of using it in that regard. So personally, I think that's a pretty good change. I mean, I feel like it does make Bloodhound a bit more viable, especially in the competitive scene. You can kind of survey an area before you try to, kind of set up your base there with Watson putting 25,000 little gates everywhere and whatnot. You can survey the area and see, okay, there's a team on this third story. There's a team in that building on the first story, things of that nature. It kind of gives you more of a view of the playing field overall. I don't think that's a bad thing. Anything they can do to help my dude Bloodhound, man, I am with it. Our boy Crypto is getting a little, you can call it a buff. They called it a quality of life change. I would say it's a buff. To now, whenever our boy Crypto sends out his drone, it actually automatically reloads his primaries. So now our boy Crypto, if he sends out his drone and he sees somebody coming up the corner on him, and he backs out of that drone, he can actually have a fighting chance instead of sitting there wondering if his weapons are reloaded, trying to switch guns. You know what I mean? It kind of gives him a little bit more of an ability to stay in the fight, if you will, so I think that's a nice little change of Crypto. I would definitely like to see them continue to rework who he is and rework what he does in the future. I think that'd be dope. Yo, the craziest buff though, our boy Gibby, our dude Gibby gets a grappler, he gets a hoverboard. Yo, no, totally kidding. Gibby actually gets a nerf, a little bit of a nerf, nothing too crazy, but he gets a little bit of a nerf, which is well needed. Let's be a little bit honest here. So now his gun shield dropped from 75 damage, or not damage, what am I talking about? It dropped from shield health of 75 down to 50. So now, we can kind of work through his shit a little bit and kind of put some bullets on Gibby instead of him kind of being a bullet sponge as if, he was a boss on Destiny or something. Like, come on now. But now we actually can stand a fighting chance unloading a full R99 clip into Gibby and having a good chance of knocking him. So that's good. And the developers also said they're going to keep their eyes on Gibraltar as they move forward and see if there's any other quality of life changes they can make to his character, just to make sure, Gibby don't stay too OP. You know what I'm saying? So overall, guys, that's pretty much it when it comes to character buffs / nerfs. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about those changes, whether if you guys see it as a buff, a nerf, quality of life change. What do you guys think? Also, what other characters do you guys feel like need a buff, need a nerf? Again, drop that down in the comments below. Kind of shifting gears here to the things that I deem as a little bit less important, but that are probably important to you. Again, we are all entitled to our own opinions. The heirloom changes that will be occurring. So there's actually going to be heirloom crafting moving forward. Now, I will say the heirloom drop rate of 1 in every 500 Apex packs, your guaranteed one, will stay the same. But now, instead of being guaranteed a random heirloom, you're now guaranteed heirloom shards. So once you get the shards, you can craft whatever heirloom you see fit, whether if it is Bloodhound's axe or Pathfinder's boxing gloves, whatever you want, you can now craft that and have your say-so of what heirloom you get, which I think is a pretty cool change. I mean, I wish they actually included a little Apex pack tracker, but hey, look, I'm not going to be too greedy here. I'm not going to do that. Kind of jumping back to something that I do feel like is important that they mentioned a little bit towards the end of their dev stream is that muzzle flash is getting fixed and is finally going to get addressed here, I believe, in 4.1. Now, what that entails, I have no idea. They didn't really go into too much detail other than saying that it will finally be getting addressed, which I think is awesome. There are some guns that I'm just like, come on, man, I'm shooting, I'm trying to clap this dude, and I can't see past my own gun. What's up with that, man? Come on now. So thank goodness that is finally going to get addressed, and I think that's going to be something that's really good moving forward. I mean, let's be honest, who does not like a positive muzzle flash change? I mean, come on now, come on. And lastly, guys, let's go ahead and talk about the actual event itself, System Override. So it's going to entail that limited time mode called Deja Loot, right? Now with Deja Loot, there's no RNG involved. The loot spawns are in the same place. The storm is the same storm. The bus is the same bus. I believe the storm and the bus do change on a day-to-day basis. Not quite sure about the loot spawns, but I know those two things for sure do change on a day-to-day basis. So it's kind of cool if you know for a fact that Fragment East always drops a Peacekeeper right here and a Wingman right here and a Purple Shield right here, then you can memorize that, and at least bare minimum for that day, you can try to drop in that same spot over and over and over again to get that same loadout. So they completely remove RNG here, which I think is kind of cool, because sooner or later, you're going to get other teams that catch on. It's going to turn into a big mosh pit, a nice opportunity for content creators to get high kill games, funny clips, things of that nature. So I just think it'll be a fun event overall. Week 1 stays in World's Edge, and week 2 goes to King's Canyon. So of course loot spawns are going to change when that happens. Again, I don't know if they change every day or not. They didn't specify that, but again, the storm and the bus routes do change on a day-to-day basis. So I think that's going to be cool. It's going to be a fun event, and I think we're going to get a lot of content from that. It's just going to be a good time. In regards to the event itself, it's going to be ran kind of like some of the other events prior. You'll see 24 specific cosmetics in regards to this event that can be bought, of course, outright, or you can get the premium Apex packs. That's kind of a tongue twister for me to go ahead and to dive into some of those specifics that they provide here with this event. And there's a pretty cool scorecard here with unlockable cosmetics too. The challenges in regards to that scorecard change every day also, so I think that's pretty cool. You have ample opportunity to go ahead and fill up that scorecard, get a couple cool skins. I believe they have a Peacekeeper skin, a Wingman skin, they have a Revenant skin in there as well, and then there's a couple little trinkets here and there. So I think it's going to be a fun event, a nice little 2-week event, and I appreciate Apex for keeping the game alive and just for them changing things up as we go. Like, I think that's important in a free-to-play game and in a battle royale game where things can get really stale if they don't, let's be totally honest. So I think they're trying their tails off, and I think they're doing a good job so far. Let me know what you guys think down below overall about this update 4.1, the character buffs, the quality of life changes, this whole system override limited time event. What do you guys think about it in an entirety? Again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. It's your boy Cray. Until next time, we are signing off. One love, we out. Peace.